welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how we did have a baby and how we currently do have a toddler in a relatively small space. We live in a flat at the moment which is around 54 metres squared. It's not tiny, we do have 2 bedrooms, but it's definitely not the ideal sized space for having a toddler running around. So we also currently don't have a garden. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you around each room of our house and showing you the kind of hacks, products, things that we've loved to make living in a small space really work with a baby or a toddler. We are actually going to be moving house. Living in this small space for a little bit longer has allowed us to save up more money to be able to buy something that we are really excited about, and we're really looking forward to moving as soon as lockdown restrictions are lifted. So I thought that while I'm still living here, I'd make this video for you in case anybody is soon going to be having a baby or a toddler in a small space as well. So let's go. So we're going to start by showing the living room, which is also Ben's main play space. The living room is really our family space. It's where we eat and where we play. When Ben was a baby, we pretty much just had an activity mat here in the corner and a little box of his toys, but as he's grown into a toddler, we've added more and more toys to our living room space. My first tip is with regards to toy storage. I would definitely say having some kind of system and toy storage that works for you is really important. I'm going to show you what we have in here, and also toy rotation. So we don't have all of Ben's toys and books in the living room at the one time. We have some in storage in other places throughout the house, and we rotate them so that the toys are always exciting. There are some toys which are like key toys that he plays with every single day and they're never rotated out, but let me show you what we do. One little tip is to use toy storage that doesn't necessarily look like toy storage. So we actually have some toys in this little basket under our coffee table, which means it's really well hidden away. And then we have this little system going on with these really cheap wooden storage crates from IKEA. They're just piled on top of one another, but what we do is rotate which box is at the top. Some things, so for example, his animals here are genuinely played with every single day, so they tend to always be out and always on the top, but we tend to just rotate which one it is. There's blocks and things like that in here, and that works really well for us. This little toy corner here is probably the part that we rotate most often. So some toys are here and some toys are stored in his toy box in his bedroom. Mega blocks are another thing which are just always out because they're used daily. Just after Ben was born, we made the decision to get rid of our television, and that is a decision we've actually really not looked back on. I think it makes our living space feel more like a living space. We don't have a television as almost the focus of the space, and it's given us a lot more space for other things. Because we don't have a garden, we've really had to think about the types of toys that we can have to develop gross motor skills indoors. So I've talked about this in other videos and I'll definitely link those for you, but we have a Pigler climbing frame which sets up as a slide and climbing frame. We also have a wobble board, and we have a little trike that he can use to go around the house. We do try to keep toys in general to a minimum, but that's especially difficult when you have lovely family members who buy him amazing toys for birthdays and Christmas and things like that.
Come in.
Finally, when it comes to toys, we have this book basket, which means we don't have to have any form of bookshelf, and Ben can just go through whichever books he wants and take them. It is probably one of Ben's favourite activities, so it was really important to us that he had access to them in some way whenever he wants to. When it comes to meal times, we have this stocky Trip Trap chair, which we absolutely love. It means Ben can eat directly at the table with us. He's been using it since around 16 months, but there is the possibility to get an insert for it here for younger babies. We just removed one of our chairs and added Ben's, and it tucks really well underneath, which means we have plenty of space for everything else. The last thing that I wanted to mention in the living room is just genuinely the cheapest and easiest thing, but has been used so often, and that's just to get like a really cheap wipeable tablecloth. We use this anytime we're doing any form of arts and crafts. If you've seen any of my toddler activity videos, you will know how well this is used. Also, we put it down on the floor underneath Ben's high chair if we're having something really messy like spaghetti bolognese. It was also so well used when he was younger and weaning, and just everything went on the floor. There's not so much to say about the bathroom, but we do have one absolutely amazing space-saving product, and actually it was one of my friends who found it for me while I was pregnant, and she did all the research and it is absolutely brilliant. It is this Stockit baby bath. It's by the same company that made the chair in our living room, but essentially it just folds up really flat, which means it's really easy to store and it's really big, so Ben still now uses it easily at 21 months. Initially, Ben was obviously much smaller, so there wasn't as much water in it and we had it out on the floor. Now that he's a very splashy toddler, we have it inside the shower, and because we don't have a bath, it's been an invaluable product for us. We actually had a newborn insert for it when Ben was a little baby, which was dead easy too, and it just means you can fold it away, excuse the washing, out of the way when it's not being used. We also now have Ben's potty in here. We also have a low-hanging towel for him when he's washed his hands. Thomas is slightly obsessed with driftwood and has built lots of things out of driftwood in here. We also, of course, have Ben's potty reading material. And we do have this very simple IKEA step stool which we use between the kitchen and the bathroom, just so that Ben can access the sink for hand washing and teeth brushing. So I've just brought this step stool back in here. I know that you can get absolutely amazing learning towers, and I've seen people hack the IKEA ones as well, but we just thought that when we are limited with space, having something that can just tuck in like that is perfect. When it comes to the step stool, I should also definitely say that we always supervise Ben when he's using it, and we've also taught him from a very young age how to get on it and off it independently and safely. When it comes to things for specifically Ben in the kitchen, he has his own little drawer here with all of his things. He knows to come and take what he needs and take them to the table at meal times. We also still have an IKEA high chair in here, and that's because we don't have a table in our kitchen, so if we're cooking or doing the dishes or something, then it's great to have somewhere where he can sit and have a snack. We have really loved this very simple IKEA high chair. To be fair, he's probably outgrown the need for it now, but we will just wait until we move before we do something with it. And next we have the main bedroom. I just wanted to mention this space because up until the age of around 8 months, this is where Ben slept. We actually had a kind of mini crib set up in the space here. So initially we couldn't actually fit a crib in here because our bed was too big, so Thomas kind of custom built this bed to the right size, and he built it out of pallets. I don't know whether you can see if I could take you a little bit closer to the bottom there. Now that meant that he could actually build it to be higher than a standard double bed, and that's meant that we've had really good underbed storage and can keep lots of things stored away in there. The only thing is, because we built it by ourselves, it's a tad squeaky. And finally we have bedroom. While I was pregnant, I was seriously nesting, so even though Ben didn't move into this room until he was around 8 or 9 months old, it was ready for him right from the start. It used to be our office. This is Ben's crib. It's been great because we could lower it as he got older. It's also got really great under crib storage. We actually got it second hand from a friend, and we have really loved it. I think Ben is definitely now ready for a toddler bed, but we're just going to wait until we move. For Ben's first Christmas, we upcycled this toy box for him, and that's where we now keep all of his toys and books, which are out of rotation. Books are just one thing I absolutely cannot keep to a minimum. He also does have some toys up here which are rotated through with the toys in our living space, and he does have some toys which he has access to here, which he will normally bring through to living room when he wants to play with them as well, or play with them in here quite independently. So although we're now using this as puzzle storage because we have a very puzzle obsessed toddler, this actually folds out, it clips closed. And this is what we had as Ben's changing table when he was still in nappies and a much younger toddler, hence why there is a mobile above it. We keep all of Ben's clothes in here. We try to keep his clothing pretty much to a minimum because I feel like toddlers grow so quickly, they really don't need very much. We do have lots of trousers in here though, and that's because we potty train, so it's been pretty necessary to have a lot of changes. Another great hack is to put one of these rails across the back of a door. It means that we can store all of his jackets and his bathrobes and things like that on there. And we also have his carrier. Both Thomas and I much prefer to carry him than take him in the buggy. And this is our kind of everyday carrier that we're using at the moment. And finally we have this basket of what look to be very muddy shoes at the moment. We just have his boots, his sandals and his slippers. Ben knows where to go to get his shoes when we're on our way out and where to put them again when we come back home. Those are all of the rooms in our home. Hopefully it's given you an idea of how you can make a relatively small living space work if you have a baby or a toddler. We have genuinely loved living here, and part of me is just so sad to be leaving because it really does feel like our family home. On the other hand, we are super excited about starting a new chapter, having a little bit more space, and in fact I think what we're most excited about is having a bigger kitchen. We are also going to be moving into our super beautiful 150-year-old home, so we're just in general really excited about that once lockdown is lifted. If you aren't already a subscriber, please think about hitting the subscribe button because I would love to have you as a viewer, and I make 2 videos a week all about being a parent to this little guy here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you again in another video. Bye bye!
Bye.